Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ravneet. Today I am updating on my Pandat palette. This is an exciting update. I'm really excited to be sharing my progress with you guys. But before we get started with the update, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel because I make a lot of panning videos. Now, let's get into the update. This year, I decided to pan this palette from CoverGirl. It's their True Naked Chocoholic palette. It has a total of 8 shades and I had already finished 3 eyeshadows. I finished one eyeshadow before starting this project and I finished 2 of them in this project. This palette was not brand new when I started working on it by any means. I already had a lot of progress on this one and I am excited to let you guys know that I finished 2 eyeshadows in here. I am really excited about that. Before I show you how my palette looks like today, let's take a look at how it looked like last month. I had a couple goals for this palette. For the first shade that is loaded, it's like the green shade. It's gonna be the first shade from the left. I wanted to finish half of that. And for the last shade that is on the extreme and on the right, I wanted to expand the pan to all the way on the top so that all the product that is left is on the edges for the top portion. And this is how it looks like today. I was able to meet both of those goals on this shade and this shade. And also I finished my eyebrow shade, which was in here. This shade was already a lot thinner because I had it scraped off previously, franken with something else to put it in my eyebrows. I finished that franken shade like long time ago. Whatever product was left in here last month was just a thin layer and I finished this up as well. And the second shade I finished was sitting here. That was a really bruisey kind of looking shade on me, so I had it frankened as a bronzer. I mixed a few eyeshadows from my Morphe palette to make it work for me as a bronzer. I finished that bronzer as well, which makes this eyeshadow an empty. Let's go over the numbers on how many times I've used each shade in here last month. So for first eyeshadow, it's already a lot thinner because I had it frankened as well. And I used it a total of 8 times last month to get to this point. Moving on to the shade Belgian, which I finished, I was using exclusively in my eyes and I've used it like maybe a few times in my outer corner. And I used it a total of 27 times to finish it up. And this shade called Liquid. This is how the liquid shade looked like as a bronzer last month. This is how it looks like today. This is all empty now. I am so happy. I used it 14 times to get it all done last month. Not 14 times in total, but I used it 14 times last month to like finish it off completely. And this shade, I used it a total of 12 times last month, which is pretty good. This shade is called Chocolate Shake. And the last shade is called Cocoa. I used it a total of 25 times to expand the pan tremendously. I was using it a lot. I was using it on my lower lash line, in my crease every day, on my outer corners. So yeah, I did work on it a lot and that's why I'm really glad with all the pan expansion. Let's go over the goals for this month. For month of September, I want to finish this shade up and I just want to use it at least 5 times. And for this shade, I want to use the bottom of this shade so that all of this huge pan expands to the bottom as well. Basically, I just want to get it to the point of repressing. So there are only 3 shades left in here and I have 2 goals for next month. This eyeshadow called Chocolate Shake is also really thin. I repressed it, I guess, last month. And I'm not too worried about finishing it. But yeah, I am really hopeful that I'll be able to get all of this done by the end of this year, especially after seeing the progress on this eyeshadow. Since it has a lot of product left on the edges, it's still going to take me a long time to get it done. But yeah, I think I can knock it down in the remainder of this year. We are not done yet. I want to introduce my no pan left behind sort of challenge. If you have seen my previous video where I talked about all the eyeshadow palettes that I have not used this year, I mentioned that I want to do that challenge. Since I only have 3 eyeshadows left in my pan that palette, I thought it's nice to bring in other palettes that will make me get use out of my neglected eyeshadows. And also I'll have like more to show in pan that palette updates. So the first palette I'm bringing in is this Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette. I really love this palette. This is how it looks like. I have 4 shades out of here in my 50 Shades of Green project pan. I have not used those shades either. So the shade called Jade, Vibes, Bloodstone, and Raw Energy, they are here for, not here, they are in my 50 Shades of Green project pan for 10 uses each. And I want to use rest of the shades at least once. Since I will be pulling out for this palette for those shades either way, I figured that it's a good idea to include it in my no pan left behind challenge. The next palette that I want to pull in is this Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. I also have 4 shades from this palette in my 50 Shades of Green project pan, and they are Destiny, Axis, Electric, and Untamed. So they're gonna be here for 10 uses. Again, not here, but in 50 Shades of Green project pan. But I want to work on the rest of the shades at least once. And the last palette I'm pulling in is this Norvina palette, again from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is how it looks like. I have not used this a ton. I barely have like 10 uses on this one. By the way, that noise was that brush falling off. But yeah, I want to use all of these eyeshadows at least once. And I'm not going to be trying to get all of these 3 eyeshadow palettes out by end of the month, because there are a lot of eyeshadows in here and it is not very easy to like reach out for each and every shade in a month, like for all of them. So I will update in my next pan that palette update on what my status is with these palettes, if I have used at least one palette with no pan left behind sort of way. But yeah, I'm leveraging pan that palette update for no pan left behind as well, because there are only 3 shades left in my pan that palette. There is not going to be a lot to talk about them in future. I think that it would be a perfect opportunity for me to like just talk about my other palette uses. So to recap, this is my pan that palette that I want to finish entirely, and it's from CoverGirl True Naked Chocoholic palette. That is everything I had for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching my video. I'll see you in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.